This is my English audience, I'll say the pasuk in English. The children struggled within her, and she said, if it be so, wherefore do I live? How can I possibly live like this? So Rashi explains to us that every time that Rivka went past the base of Avodah Zarah, Esav was struggling to get out, wanted to do his Avodah Zarah, and every time he went past the base of Midrash, so Yaakov wanted to get out. And they were fighting inside. So Rashi says there that Davar Acher, another thing, which was Tiktim Zayim Zeh, they would fight with each other. What were they fighting? Umarivim. They were fighting what? Banachla Shnei Olamot. They were fighting about the inheritance of two worlds. So Rav Miller from England, Rosh from England, he asked the Kasha, what are they fighting about? What do you mean they're fighting about two different worlds? It's clear. Yaakov wants the next world, and Esav wants this world. There should be no fight. What are they fighting about? I'm going for the next world, you're going for this world. It works out perfect, you know what I mean? You take care of this world, so you go to the next world. What are they fighting about? The answer is that actually they both wanted both worlds. They were both fighting for both worlds. So what did Yaakov want this world for? So the question was, he explains, this is a beautiful thing here. He says that Yaakov wanted to use this world to get higher spirituality. Like the Pachak Kitanim, you know, every little mitzvah, every little penny you take, you can use it for mitzvahs, you can do. And we know, if you look in the Mesilas Yesharim, you look in the Derech Hashem, you look at all the Svarim, that this world is really created for us to do tikkunim, to fix ourselves up, to uplift ourselves. If we never came into this world, there's a famous kasha. If Hashem wants us to come close to Him, so what are we doing down here? Just stay up there and everything will be great. The answer is we came down here in order to get close to Hashem, to make ourselves, our physical bodies, we know they're physical bodies, to make them spiritual, to make ourselves spiritual, to make the right decisions, to come closer to higher levels. So Yaakov wanted this world for that. And Esav, he wanted the opposite. He wanted the spirituality. He really wanted this world. So what did he want? What did he care about the next world? What did he care about spirituality? Yes, he wanted to use spirituality for his own benefits. For example, he brings the Yalkut Shmone that says, there's a story of this guy came to a new town. And it happened to be, he found a Veda. He found a lost object. And then he tells everybody, oh, hey, I found this lost object. Who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? So everybody was so impressed with the guy, he got like a big statue. And so eventually he became the king of the whole town. And then he started to rule over the whole town. He was really just for himself. But he pretended to be spiritual so that people would think, hey, look at this guy. He's really straight. He's really sharp. And we know also, it says, Chesed ha'am chatasu. A lot of the social welfare programs aren't really social welfare programs. They're just to keep the people down. You know, we got to give them money. We don't take care of the poor people. They'll take over. But it's really just for our tithers. We want to, you know, just leave us alone. You know, leave us alone. We'll give you benefits. We'll make all the thing for you. But it has nothing to do with really helping you. I'm not doing it. This is what Rabbi Yisrael said. Your physical is my spiritual. When I take care of your physical, that's spiritual for me. That's not what we're saying. That's not what Esav was doing. He said, listen, I'll pretend that I'm spiritual, and I'll have all the good causes, right? That's what they have, all these good causes. And you see, it's such an obnoxious, you see people that are obnoxious about that. You know, they claim that everything they're doing is for the good cause of spiritual, it's chesed, it's all these things. In the end, it's all just a way for them to get their titles. And that's all these social programs, a lot of them, it's not really good-hearted people. It's people that want them to control people. They want titles, they want different things. So that's what Esav. So that's what it meant, that each one wanted both worlds. But it's more than that. He goes on to explain that there's a thing called the Iker and Tafel. Iker means essential, and Tafel means non-essential. So we know that what did Esav? It said that Esav was a man who knew how to hunt. So Rashi explains there, what does it mean he knew how to hunt? It means that he used to trick his father, he used to trick people, he was tricky. So how did he trick his father? His father's a tzaddik, and he tricks him, he says, listen, how do you take meiser on salt? And how do you take meiser on straw? 10%, how do you do these things? It happens to be that straw and salt don't have one. But he looked like he's really being medactic in the mitzvahs, he's being exacting. So Rav Miller says a beautiful thing. He says, what was the difference in what's straw, what's salt? Salt is tafel to the food. It wasn't like the real food itself. It was the non-essential thing. So he was trying to be in a non-essential way. He was focusing on spirituality. What do I do in this thing that really doesn't matter? How do I make that spiritual? Or the opposite, the klipot was the outside, the chaff, the outside of the really the thing is the chita, the wheat. So the wheat is the ikar, and he's asking, how do I take meiser on the tafel part? So the fight between them was really what's the ikar, what's tafel, what's essential, what's the non-essential. Esav said the essential is this world. And we need a little bit of spirituality to, just to be able to get by, to be able to manipulate people politically and all these different ways. Yaakov says, no, the main thing is spirituality, but we need the physical things, because we're physical people. We need to rest, we need to eat, we do everything L'Shem Shemaim. It's the Kiddush of the Jews. I mean, everybody knows, the Kiddush of the Jews. Is that we're not monks, we don't go live in a hut somewhere, we're not priests, we get married, we have families, we have kids, we have Shabbos. So we take the physical world and we uplift it with our brachas, we uplift things. We use the physical world for the spiritual. But the physical is tougher. How do you say the tougher in English? The physical is the not essential. The essential is the spirituality. And not only that, which says by Esav, it's also, he called it Adom Hazeh, he called the lentils. By when they were mourning for Abraham, Yaakov was mourning for Abraham. He says, what is this red stuff? You know what I mean? He called it red stuff. You know what I mean? Really, it was the food of mourning. I mean, it didn't look deeper. He always looks at the external thing, just the outside of the thing. What's this? He calls it red. He didn't look at the meaning of it. He sees he's eating lentils. It means that somebody passed away. I mean, it means a lot. It means not just food. It was lentils that the people eat at the time of mourning. He didn't look into the deeper meaning. He's always looking for the externals. The problem is what about us? How we, you got to hear this. There's a great piece. The Chafetz Chaim says in a different pasuk. The pasuk that said that Yaakov was holding on to the heel of Esav when he left. So the Chafetz Chaim says there that Esav was trying to constantly trample on us. He wants to step on us. And Yaakov, who got the name of the heel, the same name of Ikuv, of the heel, Yaakov, he's holding on to Esav's heel. He's stopping him from stepping on us. In other words, Esav wants to step on us. And Yaakov, who got the name of the heel, he's holding his heel. I was also thinking about Ikuv, Yaakov. In other words, Esav would tell, hey, listen, the main purpose in this world is the physical world. And that's what's flying at us 24/7 through all the media, through the internet. It's coming at us, and it's just seeping into us slowly. It's getting worse and worse. It's coming to Israel. The clothes, you have to have nice clothes. Because the ikr, this world, you have to have nice clothes. Then nobody can't live in poverty anymore. We can't take it if you live in poverty, Yeah, but I'm religious. You're religious, but you have to have a car. You have to have a nice couch. But it used to be years ago, people were really Mesiras Nefesh. Now it's religious plus. Religious. Sure, I'll be Mesiras. That shidduch that I had from one of my. I'll be religious. Just set me up. Set me up a business, and you have to work, and you have to set me up to make sure that if I want to work, you have to set me up that you have a business that I can go into. It was a whole story. This guy wanted to marry a father-in-law who was, tons of money, and in the future, that just in case he doesn't have any money, he could also go into the business. Sure, he's religious. He's Shiva Bach. He sits and learns all day, but he needs all the security, all the physical. He has to have nice clothes. It's not like it was one day, and it's seeping in slowly. So it says, the Chafetz Chaim said that if it wasn't for the fact that Yaakov held on to the heel of Esav, then Esav would stamp on us, he would trample on us. So what does it mean to hold on to our heel? I was thinking also just the idea of holding on to the heel. Eikav comes from the word ikuv. It didn't say that Yaakov held onto his neck. I mean, he could have grabbed Esav by the neck and strangled him. That's what he should have done. But he couldn't do that. The answer is, it's just a question of ikuv. It's a question of holding off. It's a question of pushing away. It's a question, again, of making the essential the essential. Making that the spiritual world is the essential. It doesn't mean you can't go out and you can't do things, but you have to know what's the essential. You have to prevent it. It's a preventative cause. It's ikuv, right? Ikuv means preventative. People have said this, it's a preventative cause. We just have to push away all that stuff. We slowly push it away. So the question now is, well, but Cloud, what happened here? You had Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Esav. Okay, yeah, Yishmael also. Esav. Where did he come from? And when we say Esav, we mean all that influence, the influence of the physical world, the stuff that's being poured at us 24/7. What's happening? Where did that come from? Why did it come? This is a beautiful piece. So he said, Rav Dessler says that the reason why Esav was born was because after Avraham Avinu brought so much chesed into the world, Esav had to bring back the Midas Hadin. What you call it Midas Hadin, also in the sense that Esav had to, in a certain sense, take spirituality in the world. There was too much spirituality in the world. The balance of things got imbalanced. I could also say, I don't know if I want to say it here, but I'll say it here also. There's a famous thing, the Sforno says, by Noach, that says that what was the curse that when there was a flood, what happened? It wasn't only the flood, but the whole world was actually turned on its axis. It used to be perfect weather 24/7. But not only that, the world actually turned. The Sforno says at that point that the world got a curse that it turned. Which what? Which changes that the type of people, they have winter and summer now. So before that, we were too strong physically. The world, people were very, very physical. So Hashem had to make the seasons in order to weaken us. It weakened us physically so that we have a balance between our spirituality and we have the ability to overcome our Yetzer Hara. It's a whole piece of Noah, I said one over. But that's not really so much the point here. The point here was that Esav came back in order to bring the balance into the world. Because if everything's just free and chofshi and spirituality, then we're not going to fulfill our tikkun of what we were trying to do here. Right? What did he say? He brings the Midrash Rabbah, Eliel Dessler. It says, the pasuk says, and Hashem saw all that he did, v'hinei tov ma'od. The Midrash, you won't believe this. The Midrash Rabbah says, what's tov ma'od? The Yetzer Hara. Hashem saw everything he created, and he said it was tov ma'od. The Midrash says, the Yetzer Hara is tov ma'od. The Yetzer Hara is tov ma'od. The Yetzer Hara is the worst thing in the world. The answer is no, the Yetzer Hara is tov ma'od, because that's the whole topic of the world. When Esav was born again, he brought back the balance of things. We don't want a world of just pure spirituality where it's clear to us that Hashem, everything's clear, then there's no Bechira. And the famous question, where's God? If God was in front of you, there would be no point. You're upstairs, you're downstairs, wherever you are. You have no Bechira. It has to be a balance in the Bechira. And that's called Tov Moed. That's called Tov Moed. Why is that Tov Moed? That's called Tov Moed because that's the whole point of life. I had a discussion yesterday with Rabbi Fenster. The real chinuch would be to let your children set up a situation where they really can do whatever they want and nudge them a little bit to do the right thing. Our times, no, you can't do that. Can't go here, can't go there. Close the door, lock the thing, throw out the stereo, throw out the thing, no computers. They had a story with one of these big Hasidic Rebbe's. They made one of the big tekkas and everything last week. You're talking about thousands of people at the meeting. He says, okay, everybody now hand over your iPhones. Anybody has an iPhone, bring it up here right now. And I closed the door. He's trying to take all the iPhones. Okay, you'll say there's something good to that. I don't say no. But ultimately, that wouldn't be the way. Hashem is making the real way would be, no, we have all this stuff, and we decide to make the ikr, and the tuffle. What's essential? I sit and I learn Gemara. I want to check my email. Yeah, I check my email for 2 minutes. I don't have to spend 3 hours. Probably I don't have to spend all the time. I'm learning Gemara. I'm Osek in Torah. I'm in the world. I use a telephone. Can I watch the news? Maybe if it's chashuv. But that would be ultimately, that's the ultimate position. The whole point. That's the whole point. If you close the kid up all day, 24/7, and he can't do anything like this, and then he stays there for 90 years in a room with solitary confinement, well, that doesn't mean anything. That's no meaning. The whole reason why we are created is to choose. That's why it says Tov Mod. The Yetzer Hara is Tov Mod. Because when we choose the right thing, then we make a Kiddush Hashem. When we decide to close that computer, to not spend time, when we sit and we open up a Gemara and read a Ritva, that's a Kiddush Hashem. And that only can come if I force you to read a Ritva. There's no Kiddush Hashem. I put you in a room and I make you and I lock you and I let you go outside. That's not a Kiddush Hashem. When you decide to open a Ritva, that's a Kiddush Hashem. And that's what Hashem wants. And that's in a certain sense why Esav came. Going back to the whole story. Esav is coming to try and influencing us. He's pushing his trip on us. He's, with all this emails, internet, all this stuff, media, clothes, everything that's happening, furniture, cars, it's being pumped at us 24/7. Everywhere you go, advertising, and that's why the kids in this generation are having a very, very hard time. Because even in my generation, go back, the advertising was not like it is now. Television, prime time television, you don't know what's going on over there. It wasn't like that when I was a kid, B'Klau. So, what's going on? The answer is just Tov Mod. Why is it Tov Mod? Because us, in our situation now, we have a tremendous opportunity, an unbelievable opportunity. When we go to the base midrash and spend 8, 10, 12 hours, 10 hours there, when we, instead of turning on the television, open the internet, we sit and read a Ritva, tremendous chuyot. And that's when we go back to the Chavetz Chaim. What's the Chavetz Chaim? If it wasn't for Yaakov, who didn't grab onto the heel of Esav, he would trample on us. That's what it means. We got to grab onto his heel. We got to ma'akev him. We got to stop him. We have to make the right decisions. That's what our life is about. And Hashem's opening up the floodgates. He's opening, in a certain sense, he's opening up the world of Bechira. He's opening up the world of the Bechira. And you see it, the Bechira, the free will. And you see the individual is becoming more and more important. What happened with all these things going on in the Arab world used to be the king was like shouldering everybody. Now the individual is stepping up. What is the individual? Individual means choice, freedom of choice. I choose. Hashem's opening up the world for the individual, but it doesn't open up so easy. It's not just open up, and it's easy for you. No. He's giving people real free choice. He's giving us opportunity. And when we now make the right decision, wow, we have tremendous wheels. So you really have to think of that. When you sit down and you get home, what do? Check your email, check the thing. What do you do? You open a refund? If you do, wow. Shabbos.